not my man. You're not my man. You're a genius.
There we go. Fucking hell. Long day, man. Get a little bit of sun. Everybody starts acting crazy. But what's good, man? I'm John D. Contradiction, and this is my man Walco. We are two of the only remaining founding members of Not Your Man's, because stuff happens sometimes. But go ahead, introduce yourself for the people when they listen to this.
I'm Prince Perez, hailing from Staten Island, New York. I'm a rapper, producer, singer, engineer. All the above.
Okay. All the tricks of the trade, man. You out here. You do all the stuff that you can. There's nothing wrong with that, man. A lot of people need to step up their game and do more than just one thing in this music shit. But it is what it is, man. You out here in Staten Island. Jesus. I haven't been to Staten Island in a minute, man. I usually go to the hospitals out there, the Northwell ones. I know one site got turkeys and one site got peacocks. It's very strange out there.
Yeah, it's very strange. Turkeys is like they got a whole gang out there.
Oh yeah,
they're scary.
Yeah, they run deep. And one of my weird takeaways, I guess I could say, I remember from Staten Island was it's the first time I ever seen turkeys fly.
Yeah, I didn't know turkeys could fly either.
Oh yeah, bro.
That's terrifying.
From work one day and there was like. It was like the fall. All the leaves were off the trees, and it had to be like I was working at the post office, and was coming home like 6 o'clock in the morning, tired. Sun's about to come up, or daylight saving and shit. So it's still dark out, 6 o'clock in the morning, and all I see is like these big black things in the trees, and as I walk into my apartment, I'm like, oh, those are turkeys. And they're just looking at me. It's like I'm and like no exaggeration. It's like 40 of them, like all in a tree. I'm like,
it's terrifying.
How did they get up there?
Oh yeah,
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Just imagine if the turkeys just all of a sudden were like, oh, they eat us, in batches once a year. We gotta do something about it. So it's a wrap.
You know what? I'm actually surprised like they haven't started their own movement. Like all turkeys matter. You know what I'm saying? Like just storming the streets.
And start fucking us up. Because they're big.
Yeah, man. That'd be a very bad day.
Yeah, they're big as shit. Like they could take out our house pets. Like that's not even a game.
Oh, yeah, man. I remember one Halloween I took my son trick or treating and the turkey was as tall as him, and my son was like 3 years old at the time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my son was trying to pet him like he was a dog.
You don't think with as many pit bulls and shit as there are in New York that the turkeys would just get fucking ran through?
Maybe, but I feel like
I don't think so. I think pit bulls like or any dog is scared of like that big.
I don't know, bro.
I feel like a pit bull. See, pit bulls are dangerous.
I've seen dogs take out fucking hogs. Bro.
But I feel like if it's a solo pit bull and multiple turkeys,
and like 10 turkeys run up on him, maybe he gonna be like, I don't know about this.
Yeah,
because if the pit bull kills one and he's getting attacked, it's gonna be hard for him to unlock his jaw if he grabs one. So while he's locked jawed on one, he's gonna be getting fucked up until he realizes what he got to do.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I've seen dogs fuck up animals bigger than them.
Yeah, dogs are
like
brave.
a whole gang of them, though. I don't know.
Yeah, dogs are brave.
I know you got like three. If you got like 3 dogs, you turn them loose on like 10 turkeys. I think they would.
They could win. There's a chance.
I mean, I can see that, but I don't know, man. These turkeys be running like 20 deep, man.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, they a whole gang.
And not everybody out here is Caesar Milan. Bro. Not everybody out here got a fucking animal. But yo, man, this has been overdue. I think we reviewed you in like January last year. It was
you did.
Long ago. It's been a minute.
Yeah, we were supposed to get on. Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh man, I'm psyched. I'm psyched, man.
Yeah, man, this is dope, man. Like it's good to. We actually a lot of this year we've been linking up with a lot of people that we've originally reviewed, and it's been a good year for our interviews because it's been like a progress year. So we catch up with people that like back in the day maybe they got a red stamp, maybe they didn't, and like they've earned their way to a green check, et cetera, and we're kind of like just seeing the progress, and they're also seeing that like it never really was a thing of like us hating them. It really like they're admitting to us that like my music was trash back then, even if they were mad about you know what I'm saying, mad about the review.
I think people just get so personal, man. Me personally, you could have gave me a red stamp. You guys did give me a green stamp, but you guys could have gave me a red stamp. Me personally, I think music is very subjective.
Yeah,
and absolutely.
When it comes down to it, your opinion is different from somebody else's opinion. And when you look at it as a whole, you want the negative feedback. You want people to be
Yeah.
like, hey, I didn't really like the song, and this is why I really didn't like it, or I didn't like your album, but you strayed so far away from what I know you as.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I want that because as an artist, you want to grow and get better, and you
Exactly.
can't grow and get better unless you have the negative feedback. You
Yep.
have all these positive yes men and people in your ear. Oh, this fire, you're always gonna drop the same shit. You're
Yep,
never gonna grow.
exactly, and you're
get
never gonna
better.
grow.
Yep.
And then when that starts to dwindle down, you're gonna be the only one by yourself feeling crazy. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be like, oh
And
shit.
you're gonna be
Yup.
doing the same shit forever.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yup.
it's like it's very real because like that's the thing that's why like when putting together the whole like format and all that stuff, I was like I want to make it very specific. I want to make it mostly one listen review, one listen, and exactly how it makes you feel right after hearing it. You know what I'm saying? Like just
Right.
like that, because you never know, and it don't matter what mood you were in for the day. It don't matter whatever. We want exactly like that's how the reviewers are. We wanted exactly how you feel when you heard it. And it could hit you at a different time. Like if I was in a fucking, if I was on some breakup shit and I heard some sad boy shit about like girls, it would probably get a good review from me. But if I was in a regular, if I'm on my fuckboy shit and I'm over here messing around, you know what I'm saying? I hear some sad shit crying over girls. I'm like, this is garbage, bro. Like
Exactly.
you never know, So it's very hard to keep it like that. But like that's why we offer other things outside of it. We don't just do like we do the reviews, we make it look good, but we promote people. We give people a chance to, clap back at us. We give them a chance to tell us what was going on. He even talk to us about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we keep it fair. There's no like we hate you. Nah, we keeping it real. And for the most part, like I'm a fucking artist too. Like I got a red stamp on my platform. I've gotten my, the reason I started Not Your Man's is because I got my ass cooked up before, when I was putting music
Right.
out there. So it's good to hear that, because whatever someone tells you can't do, you start to think, yo, maybe I want to do that. Maybe I want to show them that I can do that. And then you just
Exactly.
picked up an arsenal. You picked up a new weapon.
Yup.
Yeah.
Yep. I like agree with everything, man. It's like even when you guys reviewed it and you guys was like, okay, there's songs that I really didn't like and I didn't favor. I understand that because
Yeah.
I mean I had my own friends. It was like oh, I didn't really vibe with this record. This record, because a lot of the records that I do, they not specifically catered to people that are gonna listen to this. When I try to make records and I try to make music, it's kind of hard to please yourself and please others at the same time, because as a musician, you want to be okay with what you're putting out.
Mhm.
You don't want to ever just sit there and listen to the final product and you're like, what is this? What did I do?
Yeah, is this me? Is this me? Is this
Right,
not?
you-
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah,
very
you
real.
want to put out something that you like yourself, and then you get to the point where it's like, okay, who's gonna like this?
Yeah.
And a lot of my music I put out, I grew up on LL. I grew up on 90s R&B, 90s pop, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Drew Hill, 112. I grew up
Yeah.
on all of these people, and then when it started getting to rap, now I grew up on like Big Pun, LL, even when we get to the 2000s, Fabulous. That matter of fact, Blueprint is when that's when I really started listening to Hope. Didn't listen to Hope before Blueprint. But Blueprint dropped in 2001. That's when I was like, oh, who is this guy? Like,
yeah, this is crazy. Yeah.
yeah, so Prince wasn't really for the average hip hop listener. It was for it was for really the ladies. I really wanted to make something that was catered to what I knew that I could, one, get the most capital on, and two, where I could get the most buzz on, really.
Yeah. Oh, and women, they will cater to that.
Oh yeah, they're gonna support. They're gonna do.
Oh yeah.
So
there's only there's only
women,
one other demographic that's better to appeal to than women, and that's just white people.
That's it.
And that's it. It's white people and women.
9 times out of 10, white people will listen to anything that the women are really ready to support. So
So it'll find its way. And that's what
exactly.
I could tell, like, when I remember I ran this back a little bit too, just to get myself refreshed. But I remember looking through the review, and I was like, I did say the one thing that I couldn't do. I was just like, I couldn't grasp what your style was because of how much you put into this, like how many different types of things you put into this. And I was like, for me, like the way I like my music, I like to attach to artists and stuff like that, but that's just my own brand. Anybody could be like that. So I was like, all right, for me,
Right.
that, that identity thing, I kind of wanted that. but like that's usually what I'm looking for to fully be like a fan. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
Yeah. So
And
I
you know,
could
it's
like the
funny that you
music,
say
but
that.
for me to be like, yo, I'm a fan, is like I need a piece. You know, I want to know something.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
It's funny that you say that because everybody, like the main hip hop heads that I know, like people that I've been in the studios with, and people that I highly respect as rappers and pure spitters. That was like their main take from it. I don't know who you are from this. I don't have an identity.
Yeah, that's the
It
first
seems like
thing
you
I
have an
wrote.
identity crisis. This wasn't an album for me. This was a mixtape. And I really took that because it was like, in my head, I'm giving everybody exactly what they want. I'm giving you this, I'm giving you this, and I'm giving you this, and I'm putting everything together in a package. But a lot of people not looking at it that way. They're looking at it as like, I want everything streamlined. I want everything in a way where I know who you are and what you're trying to do, and enjoying it at the same time. And it's kind of hard to enjoy something when you're trying to figure it out. It's like watching Inception. You're enjoying the overall scope, but you're confused. Like,
You're like, what's happening?
I
what
need
is
to
going
watch
on
it a few
here?
times.
Right.
That's the same
So
thing
I
with
think
music
my
too.
project was like that.
Yeah. Same thing with music too. Like some
That you
projects
have to listen
you want to
to.
listen. Yeah, you're like.
Yeah, you have to listen to it again.
Yeah.
To really fully get the scope of what you're trying to do. And I think that was my biggest takeaway, that I was doing too much instead of just kind of let me
pick
stay
something.
inside this box and stay here.
Yeah.
But I wanted to give everybody a little bit of everything, and I
which
think
is a
that's where I
dope
went
move,
wrong with it.
But see, and honestly, like, now this is coming from like just like reviewer and artist. Like, that's a smart move to do things, because I know there's a lot of times, like when I first started putting out music, I was like, all right, I put myself into a box. And I was like, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm alienating my original first set of fans, and those are my day ones. I want them to stay my day ones because they were the first fans you get.
Right.
You hold on to them. So that is one side of me that's like, all right, I get that. But then as I grew with my music, I'm like, I'm going to try different lanes just so no one can fully put me in a box. But that also, like, again, that, you're going to alienate people and whatnot. But it gave me the talent. It gave me the like arsenal to put together music that's a mix of both. It's, I built my way up to be able to give something that is a little bit for everyone, but still me on top. It's very complicated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like listening to other people, I tend to do that with like, when I have to listen to Not Your Man stuff, I have to keep it in my head. I'm like, all right, I got to take this.
You got to be unbiased.
I have to listen to it where not
Right.
even
It's hard to be objective.
Yeah, but it's not even.
It's
also
very
like
hard.
I have to keep it very, very. I have to keep it like underground, because if I'm listening to someone who popped, someone who's famous or whatever, I'm like, all right, let's listen to someone who's famous and someone who everyone's hyping up. I already have this chip on my shoulder, like, all right, let's see what the big deal is. And then I listen to something and I'm like, they didn't give me anything. Anybody could do this. So it's hard to get out of that mindset with someone who probably hasn't, doesn't have the million followers, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
and that you really haven't listened to. Right.
Yeah. And then it's like, to me, I have to understand that a lot of artists, like listening to you, that's how you're starting, and that's dope. You know what I'm saying? That you can mix it up, and to kind of put y'all both in the same thing, when it's like, this is someone who's probably did all this other stuff, got to this point, or probably someone who just went straight to selling out and they're just doing whatever they can, versus someone who's literally like at the bottom and doing this off of pure
and just trying to get
talent and just wanting to do it, hunger. It's two different games, you know what I'm saying? So it's also like something that we have to keep in mind when we're doing reviews and listening to new stuff versus stuff that's already blasting on the radio and you're like, oh, this is whack, because like
I totally get it.
Yeah, you look at Nas, like everyone loves Nas because he gave us Illmatic, and Illmatic has his story. You know what I'm saying? Or he's given us multiple things. You listen to certain artists and you're like even Childish Gambino, bro, like he gave us a very rap project back in the day.
It's very personal too, though.
I didn't move. I'm just grabbing my cigarettes.
That's all good. But yeah, he gave us a project that was very rap, and we knew it. Like, and then he gave us, because the internet, which was like pop, it was discreet, it was like off-brand, it was still rap, but it was very everything.
Kawhi too, right?
Yeah, and they were still very him though. And he didn't even need to give us that. He didn't even need to add a piece of himself. At that point, he could have just gave us anything. We would have loved it. But the fact that he did incorporate that was like, yo, this is progress, you know? That's the type of shit that, you know, you want to hear. Like, you need something to hold on to because you don't want to just give it to anybody that can do it. Like, you know, I don't want to, you know, let's not make someone famous who's not genuine at one point.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's a wild game, but like that's also I love music. You know, we love music here, so we're gonna be passionate about it. But yeah, man. So let's go back to this. So since this dropped, this is a minute ago. What you been up to?
Okay, so since Prince dropped, aside from like promoting and stuff, like I didn't hit the ground running with it the way that I should have. I should have been, you know, doing music videos and stuff. Instead, I kind of focused on doing shows. So I was doing a lot of shows during that time. So between like it dropped Thanksgiving of 2018. So between November 8th of 2018 and I want to say the summer of 2019, I was any show. Anytime a flyer came my way, like I'm there. I'm doing the show. I'm going out there, and then I'm taking videos of that instead of just like actually shooting music videos. And I think that I should have at least shot one music video, and even still to this day, I kind of like, dang, should I still drop a music video for one of the songs or one of the singles that I had? And I'm like, no, you know, you live and you learn. You see the things that you've done wrong with this, or not even that you've done wrong, that you think that you could do differently, right? And
now
this is where I'm at right now. So last summer, whole, you know, because I remember I was actually supposed to join you guys on the panel and reviewing everything, but last summer was kind of like a wild ride for me. You know, my grandfather had got arrested, and you know, this is actually the first time I'm actually speaking about it. It's just crazy, like, you know, an interview. But yeah, he had gotten arrested for molesting my youngest sister. So I was in this really weird place. Yeah, I was really in this really weird place because this is the man that raised me. This is the man that, like, you know, both of my parents got divorced when I was a kid. My grandparents raised me. And so, you know, I didn't look at him like my grandfather. I looked at him like that was my dad. Like, that's my father. So,
that's heavy as shit.
And I have three sisters. I have, you know, an older sister that's only a year older than me, and I have two younger sisters. I'm the only boy. So when it happened, you start questioning things. You know, I have two daughters. I have a 9-year-old. She just turned 9 in March, and I have a soon-to-be 2-year-old daughter. So
it's Kobe.
You start questioning stuff. You start questioning like, oh, did he touch one of my daughters, or like, you know, and panic. So now I'm in this weird box, and I don't want to deal with music. I don't want to deal with music. I don't want to deal with anything.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
On alcohol, like, you know, Henny was like my best friend during that time. I was going through like 2 bottles a day, and
that's fucking dangerous.
Man, I was wilding. So what happened is probably like, I want to say the third day of just me in my own head and in my feelings, I got back into the studio. My engineer hits me up. He's like, yo, just come, just vibe, you know, we'll make beats, whatever. So I go to the studio. That's when I made Do Not Disturb. Do Not Disturb is actually going to be on this album that's coming out. We put it on the back end at the very end with Legacy, because now, like, that kind of got me into like, okay, this is therapy for me. Now I need to get back into music. So what did I do? Everybody was hitting me up talking about, yo, we need a full rap album or a full rap project or whatever. Like, we love when you do the singing and the old genre stuff, but we need this. We need bars. Like, and that's what everybody knew me as. When I first started rapping, like and started getting actually a little buzz, people knew me for being the pretty boy that was getting all the girls that could just rap, you know. So now people want me to, you know, kind of like get back into my bag and like, all right, we need that, you know, 2006 Prince, we need that, you know. So I'm like, all right, cool. So then I started writing this album, and it's cool what I did with this album because I really wanted to give a story without giving a story. So at the end of each song, there's a voicemail, and it's a real voicemail. Voicemails, I'm a weird kind of person. I don't delete texts. I don't delete
Nothing wrong with that.
voicemails.
Nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
so like,
Nothing wrong with that.
in order for me to like, I could just like go back to like 2017 and be like, oh yeah, you said this, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's me. So what I did was I went through all my voicemails and I just like picked each voicemail, personally, and I was just like, nah, like this voicemail is gonna go at the end of this song, and I wanted it to be streamlined. I wanted it to be different than Prince, and I seen everything that I did with Prince, and I was like, nah, what I'm gonna do with this new album is I'm gonna create a story, and I'm just gonna let the bar speak for itself. But then when you get to the end of the song, it's gonna be like, oh, okay, where are we going next? I'm excited to see what the next song is gonna be.
I like stuff
So-
like that. I got shit for it because I had like skits on one of my projects, but I like shit like that because that's a
So
it's a
it's
dope way
dope.
of storytelling. Yeah,
It's layering.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I actually learned that from listening to Good Kid, Mad City, because I
Yeah.
liked how he put everything together. But I wanted to really, and I was telling my best friend, I was just like, yo, when Good Kid, Mad City came out, I was totally inspired. And I was like, yo,
Yeah. If
I
you
listened to
listen to
that
that,
album
you didn't wanna do
nonstop
that.
every day.
Yep.
Yeah,
If you didn't
so
want to make an
I was
album
like, I
that
always,
sounded like a movie after listening
Right.
to that, you weren't a hip hop or like real shit.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it always stuck with me ever since that came out. So when I started working on this album, I was like, nah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have number bars. We're gonna put in each song, and it's gonna be a little bit of hip hop mixed with the new age, but it's not gonna be no mumble stuff. Because I even said it in one of the songs. I said, I came to bring the pain. I came to move these mumblers out the way. Like I'm really like in my bag.
Yeah.
Like I'm not playing games. So you hear the hunger, especially on probably like when you get to like Built for the Pressure. Like you hear the hunger. You hear it's like me just starting off. It's like even though I've been doing this for so long, it's like when you go from singing and you go from the girl someone you love back to rap and you get back to the grimy, the gritty, the real New York. Now you're like,
Yes,
oh
sir.
nah, I gotta show them like I ain't fall off, like I ain't miss a beat. So that's how I was
It's that-
feeling. Like
It's that competitive nature.
Yeah.
right.
Everybody
So I
has to
had
do
I
it.
had to.
Everybody has to
I
do
had
it.
to.
That's what I did
Yeah.
on my birthday. I dropped the project where I was like, yo, I'm just going to rap. I'm like, I'm not gonna focus on like no catchy shit. I'm just gonna rap and give people a piece of my mind. And I put it out, and I felt great. Like even before like people getting listens and all that stuff. Because when I finally got
Right.
the vinyl, I was like, I feel fucking good because I want people to know like. Not only do I do this, not only do I produce, but like, yo, I still rap. Like, don't forget, like, this is
Right.
it. This is my bread and butter. You know, only reason I
Right.
strayed away was to learn more, but this is it. And it felt great. You know what I'm saying? Putting that project out was therapy in itself.
Yeah, that's why, like, and that's why I'm so excited about this album. Like, I believe I sent you guys the masters,
Yeah.
but like, I'm so excited about this because it's like this is me getting back to just rap. This is, and there is some catchy stuff on it. I think that when it comes to like making hooks, when you do other things, like making hooks should be your bread and butter. It should be like the chorus, the hooks. That should be always
hooks are a very different
what you're
game.
good at.
Hooks are a different game. If people don't, you can tell
It's
artists
always
when they don't have hooks. You're like, all right,
Right. Yeah, you could have the hardest verse in the world, but if the hook don't match up with it,
it throws it off. It throws the whole thing off.
Yeah,
I say that about
you hear
Fab a lot. I'm like, if Fab doesn't get a feature on the hooks are usually boring.
Then the hook is
Swag.
yeah, it is, and I love Fab.
Yeah,
I
and
love
Fab is nice.
But
It's
unless
just-
it's like Chris Brown,
Yeah, I was
coming
just
in, or
unless it's
Prince or
someone else
somebody,
on the hook, it's weak. Like
yeah,
it just doesn't. fit.
it's just it's not that as good of a song, and you could date that all the way back to
From when he first came out.
to Ghetto Fabulous,
Yeah.
if it
Holla
wasn't
back,
Nate
youngin'.
Dogg,
Holla
I
back.
think the only verse the only hook that he actually did that was hard was Keeping It Gangsta.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
because that song like hits you in a different type of level, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, all the other hooks.
Or what about Breathe, right?
Breathe was hard.
But
Breathe was hard. When
the
Breathe came
sample
out,
made that. Like
it wasn't just
that.
him. Yeah, it was like if it wasn't for the beat, the sample, everything lining up, Fab wouldn't have hit that hook
Yeah.
the way it had.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, because even if you look at
that
like
was a layup.
one of his biggest records,
Yeah.
you look at one of his biggest records, This Is My Party.
Yeah.
That hook was trash. It was trash. The verses, he bodied it, and you get to the hook, and it's just like, oh, okay, this is mad mediocre. This is something.
Yeah, you just wait for the hook to be done so you can get back.
Like, all right,
you know, I
first
need
two.
to go back to rap, bro.
Yeah.
You know, but matter of fact, and I could say there's one other hook that he did, and that was on Ghetto Fabulous, and that was the one he wrote about his mom and growing up and everything. Was the track 6. I always remember the track. I never remember the
That's
song.
That's because we come from the CD era.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, like, you know, that one, he was like, my mama used to tell me, son, you're gonna make it one day, it'll happen. Yo, that one was hard, and I think it hit me hard because that's when I actually started writing. Because at that point, I was really, I was doing the poetry. I was doing the, like, you know, I was in church choir, I was in like school chorus and stuff like that. I wasn't really focused on rap. I was focused on, this is gonna make the girls pop. Like I was Drake before Drake was Drake. You feel me? Like I was like, oh, word, like I could do this. Like I could rap on a Backstreet Boys beat. Like, you know what I'm saying? The girls is gonna feel on me. Like, you feel me? So like I wasn't really writing rap like that. Like I ain't start writing rap until Ghetto Fabulous, until Blueprint, until Get Rich or Die Trying. You know, and all those albums kind of came out within the same spectrum of each other. They all came out within like a year of each other. So
and they were all heat. Get Rich or Die Trying made me want to rap, like, because Get Rich or Die Trying was so influential, huge on my life, period, on hip hop, period. But it was one of the first projects that, like, the simplest shit had weight. Like, some of the simplest lines weighed a billion pounds.
Oh my gosh. And you know, it's funny because I was just talking to one of my homegirls the other day. She's huge in hip hop too, and me and her bounce hip hop ideas over each other. We was just talking about Get Rich or Die Trying the other day. And when it dropped, it was kind of like, where were you? Yeah. It was like, you know, it's one of those moments. It's like, where were you? Yeah. And me, I remember, because I was in 8th grade. And when that came out, I remember, like, they labeled it immediately. This is gangster rap. This is, you know, we should ban this. This is that. My dad didn't want me listening to it and everything. And you know, my grandmother was like, cut that off upstairs. And I'm just
get in trouble for listening to it at school on your CD player.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't care. You know, I'm walking, you know, through the hallways like many men. Many. You know what I'm saying? It was just crazy. That
so hard, bro. It wasn't
the whole album, bro.
The whole album, front to back, like endless quotables.
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah, it's album was that's the only album to date, probably other than Magna Carta, Holy Grail, Good Kid, Mad City, and probably because of the internet. That's the only album I can actually. And 2014.
I'm sorry. Wait, did you say Holy Grail?
Holy Grail. Me personally, it's one of my favorite whole albums, and then I get a lot of flack for it. But the thing is, it's like the reason why I love it so much.
Nah. Holy Grail is the one with him and Kanye together.
Justin Timberlake.
No. That's all Justin Timberlake.
I meant Watch the Throne.
Yeah, no. Magna Carta, Holy Grail. That album to me is my favorite Jay-Z album, and the reason why is because
I respect that. I've never heard that before.
A lot of people will give you the Black Album. A lot of people will give you one of the Blueprints. A lot of people will give you even his last 444. No, Magna Carta, Holy Grail hit different for me when it came out.
How you feel about Watch the Throne?
What?
I'm sorry. How you feel about Watch the Throne?
Watch the Throne. I like Watch the Throne. I really enjoyed it. I thought that a lot of it was a lot of throwaways.
Facts.
A lot of people didn't like it. But
see, me, I'm not a big Hov fan, but I respect Hov. I loved Reasonable Doubt, and I thought Blueprint was dope. Black Album was solid, but I just never was like I just never was like a big Hov fan. But I grew up like like everybody in my family were like. We were all Tupac fans and like Wu-Tang fans and like Nas was like.
So you went more to Nas.
We needed
I
more
didn't
words and stuff like that. I needed more poetry.
I'm gonna let you know something, and this is probably blasphemy, but I didn't listen to Nas. Like actually, I didn't. My thing is, it's like when you're a musician, when you're an artist, especially in rap, the biggest thing that you need to do as an artist is study. Yeah. Study cadence, study flow, study how they can structure words and bars and put them together. Yeah. Like, and once you get to learn how to get your cadence, and you
Yeah,
could
and you develop
get to
your own
formulate how
type
to
of
structure
sauce.
your
Yeah.
own bars. Yeah, then you could go. I didn't actually start listening to Nas until Godson, and
Fire album.
the
So slept on.
yeah, and the thing is, I actually got it for my birthday. You know, my aunt, she just passed away. God rest her soul. She had bought me that album. She bought me that album and then like another album, and she was like, "Oh, I thought you would like this. It's rap, whatever, whatever." And I was like, "All right, cool. You know, I'll take a listen." So I listened to Godson,
Godson's a
and I'm like,
heavy album. Still one of my favorite Nas albums ever.
yeah, and I'm just wow,
Well, this shit
Yeah.
different.
wow,
Yeah.
wow.
He was
'Cause
on in
he's
that
just-
album. He
he's
was on
hitting every
everything.
nail on the head.
And
He's talking about the black struggle.
Oh my God.
There's so much
Everything.
content.
Dude,
So
right
much
now,
content in
till this
Godson.
day, that one track that I always tell people to listen to when I'm like, yo, you want to see a song that like is a very dope depiction of society, that the ending track, the If Heaven Was a Mile Away, that track
Yes.
it's like way ahead of its time. And then even
Yeah.
on like a
Yeah, and it's still
hip-hopper
relevant
fan-
today.
Still very relevant. Even on like a hip hopper standpoint too, that album was such a gold. It was a gold mine because it had hip hop drama on it. Like when he was talking about like how Biggie wrote "Kick in the Door" for him, that blew my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like a huge Biggie
Right.
fan, and hearing that, like, oh, you know, like he had so many gems. He talked about like the industry. He was all over the place, but he was talking a lot of old like Black history stuff in there. That like he was,
And I think
dude,
that's
it
when
was
he first
crazy.
came. That's when he came back from Africa
Yeah,
too, and then
he
that's when
came
he
back
dropped
with
the album.
with a fire on him, bro. He was not playing around.
And that album always like it meant something to me. So
Yeah.
when I always try to study rappers and everything, and I try to study what they're saying and where they're coming from. Like actually the pure spitters, because I had a conversation the other day with my homegirl, and we was just talking about actual pure spitters, and she asked me to give her my top 5 pure spitters, like people that just like
Disgusting.
if you drop a beat, they're just gonna get filthy. And she was asking how come I left Nas out of my top 5, and the reason why is because Nas is the type of person where you really have to give him time. He's not going to give you something.
I wouldn't put him on it. Yeah, he's my favorite rapper. I wouldn't put him on a pure spitter.
His content is too dense.
Yeah, like there's
too much in there.
You got to give him time. You got to give him. You can't just throw him a beat and expect him to give you a BT level cipher.
And he can't
You got to give him time.
With Nas, like Nas needs an open beat to give you a masterpiece. But if you give him something that's a little too full, a little too convoluted, too many sounds and stuff, his mind he won't register that. Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
and it shows because look at the records that he did with on Khaled's albums.
Yeah, very strange, very strange sounds.
Yeah, but
yeah,
when
he can't do that. But then there's someone like you could throw like a Black Thought on anything. He will rap on anything. He will snap. Or like Ludacris
he's gonna
too.
melt the mic.
Remember when Ludacris did that whole when they tried to make that corny beat and they were like, "Yo, let's see if he'll rap to this whack ass beat," and it was kind of like off top, and he snapped. And it's like, yo, Ludacris, like people like that, those are true spitters.
Yeah, I always say Luda is the best rapper to ever come out the South, and people don't give him enough credit.
Bro, I swear by Luda.
Beyond the best. He's the only rapper that has cooked Nas on a track. Nas don't let people feature with him. He is the only rapper
first
that
of all,
has cooked
he's
Nas
the only rapper to stay up with Hov. And it's really hard to stay with Hov on a record. I think there's only, and I said this the other day, I said there's only one person that's ever defeated Hov on a verse, and that's M. And that's M on Renegade. Yeah. It's M on Renegade. But other than that, there's no person that's jumped on a Hov record or Hov is featured on that he's been outshined. Period.
Never. And
Luda's the only one that's come close.
Hov, and I will give Hov that too. Like Hov, I'm not the biggest Jay-Z fan, but I will give him the respect where it's due. Like I grew up a Beans fan. I was like, yo, Beanie Siegel's nice, but any single time they was on a track together, I'm like, bro, this is perfect. I can't pick a winner. You know what I'm saying? Like they're both just they're both losing it, and like, but that's what I like about Hov. That's what I've always liked about Hov. He's very strategic. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna let someone just cook him on the track.
And I say the same thing about Drake. Drake learned that from Hov.
Yeah.
You can't name one song that has Drake has featured on or Drake has brought in a feature that the feature has totally outthrown.
Unless it's Eminem. Unless it's Eminem.
Unless it's M. Yeah.
Only person
but then again, but that was Weezy. era, and
Yeah.
Wayne was the only one that held his own against.
That's because people like Drake and Jay-Z are getting the features first and listening to them and then writing their verses.
I get prepared.
True, very true.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's funny that you brought that up because I thought about doing that for this album. There's 4 features on this album. There's 3 on one song. We did it's like a dope cipher, but it's like I wanted to get back to like pure hip hop. I didn't want no hooks. I wanted it to be like state property. Everybody rapping after the other. That's what I wanted. So there was actually supposed to be more people on the record, but due to time constraints and people not hit me back in my timely fashion.
We know how hip hop. We know how rappers get. Yo, I can't wait to get on this, and then 4 weeks go by.
They
like,
just
yo,
get cut,
did you listen to it? And they're like, I'm checking it out now.
And I sent the record out, and I actually sent it with my verse on it, and I was like, I was just
to
so
give people a chance to snap.
Yeah, I was just so confident. I was just like, nah, I don't care, because the beat was already hard. So if I would have sent the beat to anybody, they would have heard the beat, and they would be like, yeah, I need to do this record.
Yeah.
But when you hear my verse, it was just perfect. Because first of all, this is my intro cut. I'm on the intro. I'm coming off. I want to set the tone.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got done writing, I got done recording, I'm like, oh, nah. I need real people that's gonna try to out rap.
Yep.
Because I went off, like, because I was speaking nothing but facts. Like I was really like in my bag. Like I was like I had what I had said. I had said I came off. I said damn, how'd it go? Not trying to really think about it. That is gonna bother me. It's gonna bother me. But I give you the gist. What I had said was basically, because I had said niggas always talking. I said, niggas say they dogs, but they bark is bigger than they bite. Niggas say they clap guns, but my man said you ain't clap shit. Ooh, look at me now. I done killed your whole style. You rapping about what you doing, but what you doing ain't what you rapping about. Like, I was like, nah, niggas is not staying with me on this. But then I got the features, and I heard everybody.
Everybody came hungry.
You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, and it was just dope. It was dope because it's like everybody complimenting each other, and it's like nobody really outshined the next person, but you could tell everybody was
but that's how you supposed to.
There was that healthy competition.
You got to set that standard. Usually, like if I send out a feature and I'm like, I'm not gonna go for a feature unless I'm like, all right, I did exactly what I wanted to do on the track. And then I'll send a feature and I'll just be like, yo, if you don't cook me on this, your verse isn't making it. Just like,
I
wish I
had the confidence to do something like that. But
I try to tell people, I'm like, yo, you have to snap, or else like this verse is not making it on my album cut, bro. You gotta lose it. And usually I get back features that are like, they fuck me up. I'm like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. I'm like, you just made a track that I thought was super solid, like way better. And it's good energy to put out there too, because like you know how rappers are. We don't want to hear that we don't want to hear that we can't cook someone. So it's like, word, that's a fact. I'm about to fuck your verse up. You know what I'm saying? Then they try to flip like a line you said. They do everything in their power, and that's dope. It makes the track better. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like healthy competition is like the best, especially when it comes to when it's rap. You have to have that healthy competition. You got to go into the booth like, nah, I know this next person is coming in behind me. Nah, I want them to rewind me before they get this person.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I really went in there with the mind state. But that one was funny because
it has to be.
And when people
I have never rapped on a cipher without writing some shit that I was like, no one's following this. And every cipher I've been on, no one's been able to follow me because I go in with that murder mentality.
You have to. You have to. You got to be on that Mamba mentality. You got to be on that Kobe Tom.
Yep.
Like, and that's how I kind of went into this album. Like, I really wanted this album to be like, I hope he raps on his next album. Yeah. Like, I hope there's no singing. I need him to come back with this type of energy.
Yep. Then they can't say shit. And then if you go, and then when you put out a singing album after, they're gonna be like, he did this.
I was just gonna say, you drop this rap album and then follow it up immediately with a singing.
And no one will say nothing. They can't say shit.
And you know what? That's funny because this was actually supposed to be a double album. The way that so as you know, as an artist, when you're creating content, it's kind of like, okay, I'm focusing on this album, but then you B cuts, there's always B rolls, there's always
you always make
like
way more songs than you need.
right. So I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I'm like, dang, I still want to give people, Prince Perez, but I want to give people what they know me for. I want to give them Young Brighton. I want to give them my old stage name. And so I was going into it, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this double album, and I'm listening to everything, and I'm like, nah, this got to come out separate because the way that I'm storytelling in Brighton is going to be different how I'm storytelling in the new album X's. So X's, I'm really just talking about like I'm really on some Drake Weekend type shit where it's kind of like
type music.
So I'm like I'm on my
on your light
I'm on my
shit.
I'm on my let me blast Marvin's Room, lay on my trunk and
You already
drink
know,
Henny
bro.
shit. So X's
Hey,
is gonna
we
be
getting toxic in here.
so X is gonna be pretty dope. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to separate them because X is heavy on singing, it's heavy on harmonizing and everything, and really bringing a singy song aspect to it. But a lot of it is really not catchy. It's really me just on some Weekend. This is Weekend when he first came out. I'm talking about like House of Balloons.
Oh man!
So it's
singing like an angel about bitches doing coke off a mirror.
So it's like and I'm
it wasn't
really
like
literally
nothing you
talking about my
bop to. Some
exes. This
shit
is
you
real
drive
life
on the highway like too fast.
Nah, there's gonna be records like that, but it's gonna be really on some like I'm really gonna be telling a story about the type of person I was, and in these relationships, but also the type of woman that they was in these relationships. I really wanted to separate the two because Brighton is totally different. When you listen to Brighton as a whole, when you listen to it and you listen to the voicemails, and then you listen to how I ended and where I ended at, it's kind of like, okay, I understand. This is Brighton. This is a day in the life of who he is as a rapper. But then you listen to X's, and it's kind of like, okay, now we're getting personal. Like this is personal. Like he's breaking it down and where he's been at and where he's at right now as far as relationship goes. So I didn't want to drop him at the same time because I felt like when you do that, and then it's kind of like when you follow it up and it's right after the back, Brighton is still fresh. And you have nothing but this pure rap. You have art. You have somebody that's taking their hunger and taking all these bars and taking all these lyrics and put them in a package for you so that you have something to bump for the summer, but you also have something that's like thought-provoking at the same time. And then you can't follow that up with me talking about all these relationships I've been in because now you're sitting there like, okay,
it's the artsy side. I want to be artsy all of a sudden.
Yeah, like how you go from sticking niggas up in the project building to
sing about ladies
whining
and
dining at Red Lobster.
It be like that though.
Yo, honestly, anytime
I think the dichotomy of life.
Think about any time like Drake put out like whenever he got at another rapper to beat track, everybody like, get your singing ass out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I didn't want that. I really wanted people to listen to Brighton and really appreciate Brighton before I come out and I drop X's. So when I like and then on top of that, I wasn't even done writing X's. I had like probably 2 of the songs done. I was really focusing on Brighton. So when we actually finished Brighton 2 weeks ago. Brighton was supposed to release on my birthday, June 1st. So we didn't have the features. So
the usual.
I was saying
that's why I never put dates.
I'm gonna start cutting
until I have everything. I don't put dates.
I didn't even put a date on it. I was gonna surprise drop. And then promote it like all hell. So, but I really wanted it to come out on my birthday.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, circumstances, whatever. But it wasn't just like the features. I was waiting on like 2 more features, and I was trying to give them enough time. But it was also me. You as an artist, when you sit there and you're listening to the final mixes before, you go through the final masters and you go through the editing process of trying to clean up the curse words for the clean version. You sit there and you're sitting there and you're like, nah, this song doesn't fit, or maybe I should add this song, or this doesn't. And
you get a point
you
where
start second guessing yourself.
You start to get like too nitpicky. You like, you know what? I'm at a point where I need to just put this out because I'm starting to get annoying to myself.
Yes. So I was
that's
at
me
13 tracks
right now working on my own album. And every time I turned it back on, I'm like, I could add this to the beat. I could add this to it. And I'm just like, I'm never going to finish this. So I'm like,
you're never going to finish
I just got to let it be.
So I started over 13 tracks,
Mm.
and when we did the full masters and everything, but this past weekend we just uploaded and everything. So
Yeah,
I think
once
the
you sent
pre-order
it.
goes up. Right. So the pre-order goes up, I think Monday or Tuesday.
Mm.
It's coming down on Father's Day. So I
Hey.
was like, all right, so cool. Let me listen to it. So I had my engineer, and I'm like, nah, we cutting this. Oh, I'm cutting this first. We doing this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
So the intro was actually it was a longer intro. So when you actually sit down and listen to the intro, it's just I made the beat. So what I really wanted to do was I went off. Like when you hear when you hear the first mix before the final mix and the master with my verse on it, you're like, nah, the first mix was way better than anything that I was trying to put out. So I was like, cut my verse. I made the beat. It's still a feature. Cut the verse. So that's
Yeah.
what we did. So the intro is actually my cousin, who's a dope ass rapper, who grew up loving DMX and Eminem, and his
Oh, yeah.
flow
So
kind
he
of emulates
raps.
that.
So he be
Yeah.
rapping.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So
It's
when you
punching.
listen to it, it's kind of like, okay, he's setting the tone for the entire album, and I liked it that way. So now I'm looking at every song after that, and like I said, we was at 13. I got it down to 9, and I really wanted to be at 9 because not only you want replay value as an
Yeah.
artist,
Yeah.
but you also I don't want to draw out a story. I wanted there to
Yeah.
be a conclusion,
Yep.
like where I kind of like Prince open ended. Prince of Hearts, POH, which is y'all favorite record from me.
Yeah.
That
Oh yeah.
was
That was the
that's a
final. That
3-part
was the
song.
closing.
Yeah, that's a 3-part song.
Mm.
Originally, it was so we had is a longer song. Like that song was supposed to be at least like 7-8 minutes,
Jesus.
and we was gonna break it up and so what I put on the album for the outro was that was the end, and that's why I wanted to leave it, but I left it open ended on purpose because of the fact that it was supposed to be a 3-part song.
Yeah.
When the two shorties meet at the end of the song, then I had two shorties that was actually rapping. They was Tatiana and Nikki, and they was rapping and they was kind of like going through their day that led up to where we met, where Tati got the gun.
Yeah.
And then you get to part 3 and it's all 3 of us and we're trying to get to this
Oh,
conclusion,
okay.
and then
You
one
get
of
your
us dies at the
fucking
end.
R. Kelly and
I was just
Ron-
thinking that, bro. I was
your
like,
R.
my man's
Kelly
on
and
this-
Ron Isley contagion shit going on.
Yeah, so like it was really like an 8-minute song, and I really wanted it to be like a real big story.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, we're not even gonna put that on the outro. We're gonna release it as like an EP by itself and just put 3 songs up and drop it as
That
a
would be
whole
fire.
story.
That'd be
but
a dope little EP. Like, cause a lot of times people don't make EPs
I thought about
like
that.
stories. Like people expect EPs because they're short to just be like 3 singles or a few singles.
Yeah.
But like an EP for
Some
as a
short and
story,
sweet.
I would appreciate that. If you could make
Okay.
something short, have content, have a story, and have crazy replay value because it's 4 or 5 songs, I think that'd be super solid.
With
we
as
have yet to get-
cinematic as that story idea is, though, you'd almost have to release that like paired with some
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna do. We was gonna shoot like a 10-minute actual like a short movie video to
Yep.
go with it, and
That would be
we was gonna
awesome.
release it as 3 songs
Mm.
separately that just goes together in one package called
Yeah.
Prince of Hearts.
Yeah, man, that
So
interactive
POH
type of
stands
shit
for
is
Prince of
dope.
Hearts.
Like people don't do that enough. I remember, I think it was a Tech 9 album, and it kind of freaked me out because I was like listening to the album on my phone, and a video popped up at the end because he had a video attached to the album. It was like track
Right.
15 was like a video, and the video popped up on my phone. I was like, what the fuck's going on? But I was like, oh, this is kind of dope. Like I was kind of into it. And I was like, yo, more artists need to utilize shit like this because like, if you got someone to listen to your whole album and get to that point, like, and then you got a video on top of it, that's a treat, bro. Like,
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
surprise.
that's
It's like an
that's
Easter
cherry
egg.
on the top, man.
yeah, it makes it that much better. Like, I would love some shit like that. Like, oh man, I got a video too. And also videos
Right.
are like to the general public seem to be a dying art,
It's like a-
but they're really not. Like,
It
you know what I'm
is.
saying?
It is.
They're not. It's,
Well,
they're
I
still,
say
they're
it
still
is
thrive.
because of the fact that like you have artists that like just drop a video, like
yeah,
6ix9ine,
yeah,
for instance. So you just got like okay, like, and there's no content whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I've always appreciated the older videos,
That
like
had
our
a-
generation,
yeah.
where we're
Or it's
telling
like
the
a
story through
movie.
the video,
Yeah.
right? So you're getting what they originally visioned for the song in
Yeah.
the actual music video.
Yeah, nowadays
that's
it's
what I
just
actually
like
appreciate it.
ass. It's just people showing. It's just they get a bunch of videos.
Yeah, it's
like
just
You remember?
you know,
You remember when
white
all the
backdrop.
You remember when all the music videos were like always like action movies?
Yeah.
There was always like
Yeah,
some
you
dude
know,
rescuing
yeah,
Yo,
somebody.
honestly though, you know
yeah,
what?
man.
One of my favorite like recent videos of all time was the Nipsey Hussle, the Hustle and Motivate fucking album. The video.
Okay.
That video's fire. It's a whole. It starts off a bank heist, and then he escapes, and then this nigga's rapping on like literally hanging outside of a vehicle with no shirt on. I'm like, this is fire, and he's got police chasing him in the back. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, yo, watch that video. The Hustle and Motivate video is fire. It's got a whole story. And
Yeah,
I'm
I never saw the
what?
video. I gotta watch it.
Hustle, that album, Victory, his last album came out. Was that
Victory
2018?
Lap, I believe, came out 2018.
2 years ago.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
2018, like nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as I'm concerned, the video era kind of like took its hill, like went downhill once YouTube got big, and like you know the new age rappers only did shit with like booty cheeks in it. Nobody
Visuals
stopped
and
caring.
shit.
Yeah,
nobody
I
started
think
caring.
the only rappers that was really doing stuff like that was probably like Childish Gambino.
Yeah, his
Um,
just was dark.
you know,
That
oh man,
2005
This Is America
video.
is still my
Oh, This Is
favorite
America?
video of
Fire.
all time because like there's just so much going on and you
Yeah.
see his vision. Like
Yeah.
it's just I saw the video before I even heard the song. Like, you know, it's crazy because
Yeah,
like
yeah, same.
mad
Yeah,
people was
'cause
talking about
he premiered it. He premiered it as a video. Like
yeah,
it all
and
came
then
out,
dropped the song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I went
so,
on. I
like,
went to
I
the
was-
tour and every. Well, I've been a fan of his since he was opening
Oh,
up.
man,
festivals,
Childish
since he
Gambino
was
is,
tiny.
like-
Since he was nobody, I
one
was
of-
a fan when he was
yeah,
wearing the backpack.
He's
and, like,
one of my
the
favorite
jean
artists,
shorts.
man.
But yeah, he's that video was wild. But he always had like the videos off of because the internet
Oh, yeah.
are dark.
Oh,
They're
because of the
super dark.
man,
2005.
3500.
Oh
Yeah,
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 on the
man.
fucking
Yo,
on the
that-
fucking
on
what the hell's it
the
called?
Ferris wheel.
Yeah, and
Yo.
the teddy
Yeah,
bear. I'm like, this is dark,
Yo.
bro.
Yo,
Yeah.
he's always been dope, man.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
I kind of like, you know, when you grow up in that old school, like we don't have the luxury of being in this new school. We think like, oh, a girl twerking makes the video.
Yeah.
So if I go outside and I'll shoot a video and I'm in front of like all these foreign cars wearing foreign stuff and all these jewelry, like nah, like I
Yeah,
need.
no, we want
If
some
we're gonna do
action.
that, we're gonna do it the old school way.
Yeah.
With like even what Ludacris did with the Fast and Furious,
Dude.
Too Fast, Too Furious,
Yeah.
when he was in front of all those racing cars. But it was
Or
dope because you
fucking-
knew.
MIA, remember that chick? The
Yeah.
the video and all the cats fucking with cars driving on the side wheels, bro. What the?
You
fuck?
know
That
who-
was fire.
You know who's actually a new age artist who actually has some pretty dope visuals in like his videos? They're like weird. You remember
Who?
Shakewell?
Yeah.
That leg,
I've
that
never
leg
even
lock.
heard of that.
So there's
Never
this
heard of him.
dude, this cat Shakewell. He's new age, but like it's weird. You got to listen to him.
Yeah.
Right.
His
He's
music
different.
is different, but his visuals are actually really.
He
very
did this
good.
song called
Okay.
Leg Lock specifically. That video is so
Uh-huh.
fucking weird, but it's
Oh,
dope.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely
Fire.
gonna look it up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up, man.
He's
But yeah,
got
so
like,
like
old ladies dancing on him and shit.
Yeah,
yeah,
like
I'm
artists
gonna-
don't put that much love into it anymore. They're just like,
Yeah,
yo,
they
I
don't.
want to
They
look
don't.
cool, and like, but they're not even like
and the thing
funny
is, it's like,
anymore.
how cool do you look? Like, how
Yeah,
cool
you
do
look like everyone
like,
else. Like, it's cool.
You know what's cool to me? The coolest video I ever seen, and I don't care what nobody says, is Busta Rhymes and Missy Elliott.
Yo.
I
Yo,
mean,
Their
speaking
shit
of
was
just
theatrical.
speaking of both of them, their video game was on fire back in the
Oh,
day.
Ludacris learned from them. That's
Yo,
why Ludacris's
you know
videos are
what?
so
Some of
hard.
my favorite was Busta back in the day, Ludacris, and fucking Redman. Nobody had funnier
Yeah.
fucking videos than them back in the day. And these are rap
Their
videos.
videos
Them
have
shits used to have me
replay value
cracking up,
like
bro.
crazy.
Yep, they'd have like
Redman
skits and
always
like,
had
shit,
big
the
girls.
song would break in the middle, and they'd have like a skit.
Oh, when Redman had that
Yo.
girl on the bike with the big butt and she hit the car door
Yeah.
and flipped over in slow motion. That shit's funny as hell, bro. People don't do
Yo.
that. Or Ludacris is the master of having just silly shit. Like,
Oh man,
He had
Roll
the
Out was
midget
like my
chain.
favorite video. First of all,
Yeah,
Word of Mouth
it
was
feels
like my
like I got
favorite
a
album,
midget
like,
hanging
that
out.
whole
Wow.
summer. Word of Mouth was like, and then when he came out with the Rollout video and he had
Oh, yeah.
the big bobbleheads,
Oh,
and
yeah.
even the dog
he
had
did
the
something
bobble-
even
I
in
was
one of
like,
his
yo, this
recent
is
videos.
crazy.
But one of his most recent videos, he had computer animated abs. That shit was funny as hell, bro. Like,
Yeah,
he just do
yo,
stupid
he's
shit like that.
he's really the GOAT for that. Busta
Yeah.
Rhymes, Missy Elliott,
Busta
man,
Rhymes
they-
did the whole
they-
Lethal Weapon shit. And he did Whiteface. Like, that shit is funny, bro.
That's
Mm-hmm.
just funny.
OD, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
And nobody does
and that's
shit
what I
like that.
really wanted to do. Like, that's what I wanted to get back to. You know,
Yeah.
I wanted to, like, if I'm gonna shoot a video, like, it's gonna be something that I'm a storyteller with it.
Yeah.
You know, you already have in your head what the song, because you know when you listen to a song, you kind of already envision a video, especially as an artist.
Yeah,
So a song, you
immediately.
envision the artist, but to actually see it, to actually see everything, you know, put in fold, and now you're actually living it, and you don't have to imagine it anymore. Like this is an actual, I'm storytelling, so you have actual, like, but back then they had actual directors that came in and did stuff like that. You had
Hype
John
Williams,
Singleton
he
doing
made the
videos
fucking
for
the fish.
Hype Williams,
Looks like the
John
cheese grater.
Singleton,
John Singleton,
the Director X. You had real directors
and it was
coming
them
in
having fun. Like these directors would come
right,
in and have a good time, bro, and be wild
right,
creative.
but nowadays you have,
But
you
now
know,
anybody
you
can. We got the power on
anybody.
our phones.
You got your
Yeah,
best
you could
friend
film that shit with your
shooting a
iPhone.
video, right?
You can do it with your phone and it look professional. Like, yeah, you can get as creative.
So
you got apps to make your blends look fun. All sorts of shit.
and that's why I feel like it's been dumbed down now. I don't feel like it's dying because there's still artists that's putting out good content.
It's just people are looking for it, you know.
Yeah, you know, people just want to see, like, nowadays it's like I'm gonna shoot a video and I'm gonna have all these girls shaking their ass and they're gonna get wild and everything, and I know that people are gonna come because there's girls twerking behind me.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
and
weird.
that's
it's
not
weird
what I want
now. Like I don't understand it because it's like, I know our generation, we come from a generation where we needed to be impressed, and now like this new generation, anything is impressive, and it's very strange. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's really strange.
You don't have to do much, and it's like even now, like somebody said something to me that was super dark. Another hip hop homie of mine. We were just talking rap. Oh, we lost.
Oh shit.
Oh no, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry.
I
was answering a text. My bad.
That's all good. But yeah, like a hip hopper of mine, he was just like, bro, he was like, people don't even document like the shit that they're doing anymore, like with like studio footage and shit like that. He's like, the most time you'll see shit like that is after they die, bro. But like, you don't see, like, nobody does that anymore. People don't release albums with like footage of the tour of the album before or shit like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just like shit that makes that makes us want to be a part of like this artist's
It makes you
existence.
feel like you get to know him better.
Yeah, and like that's not even like a concern anymore. And that it's weird.
It's all about
really
image.
Strange. Yeah, it's very strange. It's like you're gonna attach to an image, but like whatever happened to like just being interested in this artist, like their actual personality, like just you know what I'm saying?
You know what people do now is they save all that shit instead of releasing it over time like people used to.
Yeah,
they save it all and then they make a documentary. Like
that
Taylor Swift or Justin Bieber. Like Taylor Swift or Justin Bieber did that shit. Michael Jordan's still alive. He just got a fucking documentary.
He's been having documentaries my whole life, and they're great.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the move now. It's not you don't get it over time.
But it's
through
weird
the
though
work
too.
and
Like
stuff.
with like those people, though, with like not Michael Jordan, but like you see like a Justin Bieber and all of them. But like they can do that. They're pop. You know, pop is its own monster. Because pop,
it's
pop
kind
is
of
more
like
worldwide.
You could do stuff like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that fan base
but
or
rap,
that
even though
but
rap is
rap,
like
you
one of
can
the
see it on
biggest
their
genres in the
instinct.
world.
Yeah,
it's weird with rap, you know. With us as artists, as rappers, we have to. I feel like rappers have to do 10 times more work than R&B, pop, and you know, our country
because they don't think of our pen as talent. They don't think of rapping as talent yet. Like it's very weird. Like rapping is never going to. It's not considered like talent unless there's a gimmick behind it.
Right, but whereas singing is a talent because not everybody can sing like Chris Brown. Not everybody can sing.
Yeah, like how do they compliment the
like
rapper?
Justin Bieber.
You know, it's like, oh, you're a singer, you have a beautiful voice, you have to practice that. But then it's like, oh, you rap. It's like, oh,
and it feels like only rappers give other rappers compliments.
So
you know what I'm saying? It's like, all the rappers give other rappers compliments. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like I love Lil Dicky. So if I ever see Lil Dicky, I'm gonna be like, yo, Lil Dicky's crazy nice. And I love his show. So
his show is fire. I just started watching. It's fire.
Yo, bro, his show is crazy. It's crazy good. It's kind of like Seinfeld, but for us, for rappers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
it's ATL and Seinfeld put together.
Yeah, put together. Yeah, it is so good. Yeah. And even when you watch the pilot and you watch him, and he's just in the studio with what's his face? What's the California rapper who was dating Kalani?
I love
the blood rapper. Nah, I love Kalani too. He cheated on her. I don't know how you cheat on Kalani, bro. I don't know how you
Crazy.
do it.
How
I'm
you
not
cheat
cheating
on
on Kalani.
Beyonce?
I mean, I don't know. Yo,
Nah, that was
you know
hype.
what's crazy?
That was publicity.
You know what's crazy?
I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
I feel like, and I get a lot of flack for this, but I don't think Beyonce is all that.
Me neither.
I mean,
Nah, y'all
her,
bugging.
no, body wise, like
She
you know
looks
what I'm
she
saying.
looks good.
bad,
I'm not gonna say
bro.
she's not
Yeah,
bad. Like she's bad, but like
music wise,
Bad as shit.
music wise, nah.
nah, bro.
I mean, Kelly
Nah,
Rowland's
bro.
better. If we're gonna
Thank
keep
you.
it
Yeah,
buck.
Kelly Rowland, talented and like
Kelly
First of all,
Rowland,
Kelly Rowland was always the better
ooh,
dancer.
and you know
She
she
just didn't
smells
have
like
the better
cocoa butter.
voice.
Ooh,
but she's the better songwriter, I think.
No,
Bad as
without it.
shit.
I mean, honestly, Beyonce doesn't write. She doesn't need
She
to write.
doesn't
Really.
write. She has a
I
Yo,
mean,
how
school of
especially when you got
school of
Neo
artists.
and the Dream right next
how
to
did
you,
this
you
episode
really
just
never got to
evolve
write
into
a day in your
misogyny?
life.
That's how our talk go. We don't know. Exactly.
He's like, yo, you know.
That's why we'll
Madison-
never be at the level of like Vlad TV and stuff because we don't actually ask questions. We just ramble.
Oh man, but I mean that's the best though. Like I feel like when you have this whole because then I remember I wrote you and I'm like, yo, should I like prep myself for anything?
I was like, nah.
And you're like, nah, we just gonna chop it up.
Nah,
And
fuck
but
it.
that's the
We good.
best. That's the best. You get to see not only what the artist really is and
Yeah.
how they really
Oh, yeah.
interact with
That-
with people.
That's what we're
And on
all
top of
about.
that-
We're all about the realness of art. That's why we like we'll call out fake rappers. We'll call out like shit that we're like, yo, that's corny. Oh,
Right.
that sounds unauthentic. That don't sound like you do about this. Like we are about that because we feel like that is what like hip hop is losing. That authenticity.
Oh yeah, nah, hip hop.
And that's why we're the way we are. Bro. That's why we
Authenticity.
keep it like that. We tell people like even like when we have a couple like names and they're like, nah, I don't like to do interviews. I'm like, bro, it's not an interview. We just chopping it up and talking about your music and your passion, like why you love hip hop. I'm not gonna ask you no incriminating questions. I'm not gonna ask you personal.
I'm
bro.
not gonna bring up your criminal record.
Yeah,
about
I
you,
don't give
know.
a fuck. I'm talking to you like a person. I'm talking to you
Right.
like I just handed you a plate at a barbecue. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking like a regular
And those are the
person.
best interactions. Those are the best
Yeah.
interviews. Like I don't want to be interviewed like you go to the Breakfast Club or you go to Vlad TV or all these
Oh,
other.
yeah.
They all have these.
Gotcha
But then again,
questions.
you're actual big artist when you do these things. But still, you go to these places and you do these interviews and they have all these lists and they send you this list.
Yeah.
But they don't even send you every question that they're about to ask because they keep questions back just in
Charlemagne will
case.
say some shit just trying to trigger.
Catch you slipping.
Right.
Yeah.
So those be the type of interviews where it's kind of like, okay, well, you're not gonna get the authentic person. You're not gonna get who they really are.
You're gonna get that
what
representative.
really
They're gonna
about.
talk in their rap.
Yeah,
voice,
you're
and
gonna.
you get, like, a
I'm gonna be talking mad fucking proper and shit. I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm waiting for this next question. Like,
Yeah,
everything.
and that
feels
shit,
so
honestly,
staged. It's not
to be
authentic.
questioned, like, and it's like I think I put it like this: we all went to school, we all took tests, we all know how tense it was expecting to answer questions. It doesn't. You
Right.
don't lose that mentality growing up. Like anytime you know you're going to be in a situation where questions are going to be asked, there's a bit of tenseness and a bit of offness that just like you can't open up. Like you automatically shut
Oh
down.
yeah.
And it's like,
It's
we're not
natural.
we're trying to get a natural, regular conversation. Sometimes we have some ones where people are a little weird with us, but that's okay. It happens. Some people are just socially awkward. We get it. We
Right.
get it. But, it's better than like us just like fucking vomiting away some bullshit ass questions. You know what I'm saying? Some shit that we don't care. We don't care about that. We want to talk to
Disassociating
people
our
like,
way
what's
through an
good?
interview.
Yeah, we want to
Right.
interview people because we want to see who's legit or not, and who that if we blow up, we want to be like, yo, come with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, he was cool.
Yeah,
come with, or
and then
anything, like,
on top of that, you get the authentic person, and that makes people fans as well.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, like I really like this interview. Like I
'Cause
really
it's-
like what
'cause
he
it's
was
a
talking about
person.
and shit
You're
like that.
Oh, he's like
Yeah.
me. He's a human. He's just like me. This is dope.
Right,
Let's listen
right,
to his music
right.
now because we like that. This is a regular dude. And then you hear the music, you're like,
Right.
and he's talented. Fire. I'm a fan now, you know?
He puts milk in after the cereal is poured, just like I do. Like
Anybody else who
like
does
he's
it
not
the
a
other way is
psycho
a
that,
sociopath.
pours the milk and dumps the cereal, and
Yeah,
like
facts.
he's cool, like like this is mad dope. Like it's really refreshing because it doesn't like I love the vibes of not being able to. You get to be yourself. but you don't have to. There's no questions. There's no, we could talk about anything. Like we could, let's talk about, SpaceX. Like it's just crazy, and that's the best type of interviews. You don't gotta worry about that other bullshit.
It's like outside of the interview or whatever, it's like we want the music to speak for itself. We want the music to speak for itself and do what it's supposed to do, bro. Like, go listen to music. But if you want to hear just a dope chop it up, and it's good too, like, because we like to do these too, because it gives other artists insight as well. You know what I'm saying? It gives other artists to see, like, oh man, maybe this could be a way of preparing for music I could try. Maybe I want to put out an EP. Maybe I want to do an album. Maybe I was terrible at marketing and I learned something. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had our last interview that we posted with this dude, D-Shane Bakehead. He off rip was like, oh man, before I start putting out music, I wanted to get my business right. So I got my LLC and this, that. I'm like, that's fire, bro. Tell more people that. Like, get these kids to own their money. You know what I'm saying? Like, get after it. Like, that's such a boss move. And I'm like, yeah, and I've never heard someone like, he has one project, and he said he put out a lot of SoundCloud stuff, and then he has one project that he just put out on all streaming that review. Unfortunately, he got a red stand from me, but still, he chopped it up and had his business right. And I was like, bro, you're ahead of most people that you're ahead of the game. Bro.
Oh yeah,
like,
without a doubt.
Do your business. And I'm like, that's
I didn't learn about the whole LLC until later on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know that as an artist. You don't know that. To own your own name. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, he started that shit off right. Yeah,
so he'll be straight. Like, and I was like, he's good. And I'm like, good for him. Because now I hope that people listen to it and get it. Like, and hear that. Like, oh shit, maybe I should look into this.
The interview that you guys did with Taco, that really because I didn't. When we first interviewed Taco, honestly, he was like, yo, I'm doing, I'm making moves. Second time we interviewed Taco, that motherfucker's selling out his city, bro. Fire progress. Bro, I was listening to that interview and I was just like, oh man, like this is dope. And that actually
inspires you, bro.
Actually, I downloaded his album that day. I started bumping him and everything. I was like, okay, Taco's really cool, man. Like, he a real cool dude. But I like that, I like that vibe, because I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, after I sent you that text and I was like, I said I prep, whatever. You was like, nah, no prep needed. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna shoot you out the hip or whatever. And I was like, all right. But I was still like, nah, let me let
me be a little prepared.
Yeah, YouTube.
See how they do it.
And I fell on the Taco interview. And now I was just like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a dope ass fucking interview. Like I'm ready.
We fuck around.
Man. Yeah, we fuck around. Yeah, that's good. We regular dudes, man. We regular dudes. That's how. Like I'm not giving people anything shy of what I'm like in person, bro. This is how I am at shows. This is how I am. Period. So it's like, let's just keep it like. We hip hop. We all in this culture. We all students. Right. We all part of this culture. So fuck it. Like, let's chop it up like real. Like, we all men. We all about our business. And we need breaks like this. And this is just something too. Like, I hope that one day, maybe, down the road, blah, 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 a couple of people we interview actually do blow up. And someone just like, yo, oh, here's a dope person. And they maybe see an interview of ours like, oh, this is really how this person is. You know what I'm saying? And they get that idea. Right. Like, this is really how this person is. And that's dope to me. Like, that's
I blow up overnight. Like, I'm gonna be like, nah, not your man's the only nigga that's gonna interview me. I don't care. Like,
I'm gonna take that as an opportunity immediately to be like, fuck academics.
Exactly.
That's the whole thing. Yeah, man. I got to interview all this week. That's crazy because we were trying to really promote this album, but I'm promoting it a little differently how we're doing it because we just shot the video to All the Smoke the other day, and All the Smoke is gonna be a dope video. We kind of made it like new school with the whole TikTok kind of vibes.
I'm waiting for somebody to do that. I'm like, yo, TikTok got some videographers, bro. Like, somebody needs to steal all these ideas and get crazy.
I was like, nah, I really want to do some like real TikTok, like real, like we're all in different places. We're all in our respective houses. This is a quarantine. And the way all the smoke is, it's like, one rap after the next. So it's dope. Like, kind of like what they did with the TikTok thing with the girls is doing the makeup thing. And
transition.
Yeah. So we're gonna do something like that. So I really wanted to, kind of like think outside the box, but also, still have the storytelling element, but you know, do the new school thing. And I think that's what I did with this album. I think, you know, there's probably 2 records on this album, Straight Facts and New Shoes. New Shoes for me is probably one of my favorite records on there. It's like a minute and a half. Perfect. It's more of an interlude. It's more of a, but I really wanted to drop it the way that I did because I wanted people to be like, nah, like, where's the rest of this song? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need the rest of this song. And it's crazy because New Shoes is probably the only real club type record that's on this album. Straight Facts is more like a radio record. Legacy could be a radio record, but it's really not. It's you know, I ended on Legacy because I'm talking about, you know, my children. I'm talking about wanting to leave behind a legacy and why I'm doing this rap, why I'm, you know, here, you know, what's my purpose on this earth. So New Shoes was like the club record. So when I only did like a minute and a half, I remember I sent it to my cousin, and my cousin was like, yo, when you finish the rest of the song, let me know, like send it back to me. And I was like, oh, that's it. And he was like so disappointed. He was like, yo, dog, like this is it. Like, and it's crazy because I didn't even follow it up with a hook or nothing. Like, I dead ended it. Like, it wasn't even 16 balls. Like, I think I did like 14, maybe 15 balls, and I just ended it right there. I was like,
he broke the science.
Like, okay, yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. So that's all y'all get. What? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I'm thinking about doing the video to it, but I wanted it to be real funny. Like, I really wanted to be like, the video was gonna be like a minute and a half too. Like, it's gonna be like,
you could always do the old school thing. That's it. You could always do the old school thing, you know, when they do it like just at the end. You know,
if
like
you cut it down to if you cut it down to a minute, you could just straight post that shit to Instagram, dog.
That's what I was thinking too. I was really thinking about that as well. Like, I was really
music
like
video.
You know, that's how I was thinking about doing as well.
If you keep it down to a minute, then people don't even have to click on the IGTV shit.
Yeah, it stays just a regular video.
Raw in there.
And you know what's funny? Because if I actually cut off, if I go straight into the hook and I cut out the voicemail, it'll probably be a minute.
Not a bad idea.
That's actually
that's good promo. That's good promo.
Right?
That's why we're here. Right? That's what we do.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna have to sit on that tonight and really write something out, yo. But you know, like I'm really excited about this album.
Yeah, we're excited.
Like, I think
Walco's gonna be the one. I think Walco's gonna be the one to review it because I reviewed this last one when I went back and looked at it. So he's gonna be the one to review it. But I'm gonna listen to it regardless. So I'm excited. I went to it and I listened to the first 2 tracks and I was like, oh man, I gotta sit with this one. I was like, I gotta sit with this one. So I was like, okay, let me get. I'm super excited, man.
Yeah. I think people is gonna be and I like how I did it. You know, nice, short, sweet. You know, and the story that goes with it, that's accompanied with the voicemail, is everything is gonna be like cohesive. So it's kind of like you have an album where the beats is all over the place, but as long as you know,
short, cohesive bars, talking nice to us.
He's pulling out the SAT words too.
Yeah, man. I really, I hope I'm excited as many. I hope I'm just as excited as everybody else who has been hitting me up. They've been asking me to send them records. They've been asking, like, you know, and I did the whole poll on Instagram, and I was like, oh, you know, who could wait? Who wants it right now? And like everybody was like, I want it right now. You know, I had so many people that, you know, I had like over like I had like over like 30 people that was like, nah, I need it like right now. Like I need it in my hands. Yeah, so I'm totally enthused. Like it's gonna be a good time. Like I feel like when people listen to this album, like what you was looking for in Prince, you're gonna get for in Brighton. But it's gonna be without the singing. It's gonna be just straight. I wanted it to be straight bars. This is gonna be rap. This is old school hip hop with new school with a new school aesthetic.
Son, talk nice.
So it's like you know, you got the Snapchat filter, like, you know, the Snapchat filter is the new school, so it's like the beats are more new school, but you still got that boom bap, that nasty, you know, raw. I want that.
We ready for this.
I want him to really get in his bag. So like, you know, I'm super excited for everybody to hit this album, man. It's gonna be a good time.
All right,
I hope everybody that hit me.
We are
and listen to it.
very ready for it, man. Yo, so we don't like to keep you too long. I think we passed the hour mark, which is fine. You know, that's what
Yeah,
happens when you
probably
that's
do,
what happens when you're having a good
yeah.
conversation. But yo, man, super solid. We're ready for it. So this is where I'm gonna let you do the hip hop thing. Let people know where to find you. Any name drops, all that stuff you want to throw out there. Let people know, man.
Yeah, man. Of course, it's always work hard, play hard. That's the label. Street Papers Music Group. That's the other label. I'm like in between two labels. So shout out to Street Papers. Shout out to WHPH. That's my engineer, my producer, my everything. He made this album sound exactly how I wanted it to sound.
Fire.
The name's Prince Perez. Brighton. The new album drops June 14th, Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all fathers. Whether you are biological or non-biological, you had to take
you
over.
A father figure.
We appreciate you.
Bonus
Yeah.
dads.
Good man.
We appreciate you, for
Facts.
holding it down. So shout out to all the fathers. Happy Father's Day. Album's gonna be out midnight. I hope everybody go gets it.
Let them know where to find you on
You
the
can find me on
socials.
Instagram, Twitter, the Prince Perez, THE, because everybody want to do the DA and want to be cool and RT. Nah, I'm straight old school. So it's THE Prince Perez. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter. I don't really be on Snapchat. Too many girls like to send me nudes and stuff like that. So I try to like stay over there. I mean that's a real thing. We'll talk about that later, But yeah, shout out to Not Your Manz. I really appreciate y'all, doing this interview and everything. I hope that I do get a green check. If I don't, I'm gonna have to,
Send
make
them
some
flying
phone
turkeys.
calls.
Send
Hey,
them
listen,
flying turkeys.
Yeah.
Them killing
listen,
turkeys
hey,
after us.
a good conversation don't guarantee nothing, bro.
That's a whole
You know?
fact. That's a whole fact. You know what? If I do end up with a red check, it's all good. I still love y'all. I still do a follow-up interview. We could chop it up. Y'all can tell me where I
much
did wrong.
respect,
But
much
I know
respect.
for sure I'm gonna get a green check.
There we go.
Alright,
That's
a
energy.
guarantee.
That's what we talking
That's a
about.
guarantee.
That's what we like
But
to
yeah,
hear.
man, I definitely appreciate y'all, man. Thank you so much.
No
I'm
doubt,
gonna
man.
go inside and drink some more. I got some Henny
Enjoy.
calling my name. Not Your Man's. Really appreciate it.
No doubt, man. Yeah, we
Really
appreciate
appreciate
you
it.
chopping
3 G's
it up, bro.
forever. We gonna get it up.
All right, man. Peace, man. Have a good one.
All right.
Peace.
That was a great